Hi there, it's Gina. Thanks so much for stopping by. I've got something so fun today, and it's thanks to Diane Antone because I watch her videos all the time, and she just did a video on this a few days ago, and it's on a topic I had never heard of, and I just love the idea so much I wanted to have a go. And it's called Etegami. And Etegami is just a style of painting that focuses on allowing you to be clumsy. There's no requirement to have any art skill, which is perfect. I love no pressure art, and this is it. If you want to create art but worry because you don't know how to draw, this is for you. Now, a little background. It started from a guy, Kunio Koike? Yeah, I don't know. It's a Japanese name, and I just butchered it, and it's in the late 60s. He was a calligraphy student, and he really became frustrated by how rigid the rules and traditions were that surrounded calligraphy. So he went on to invent a more spontaneous art form, and it's just an honest, it's personal, but without being egocentric. So you don't have to have special skill. You're not showing off how skilled you are at art, color blending. So it's just very humble, and it's supposed to be for everyone. It's just a simple, colorful, hand-painted drawing with a few chosen words. It was initially done on Japanese paper, but this is not Japanese paper, but it's also to send as a postcard around the New Year's. And I believe this is still a tradition in Japan, which I think is just awesome. I think I might do that this year. Again, talent is not required. The motto when translated into English is, it's fine to be clumsy, it's good to be clumsy. So how awesome is that? Because clumsy is just right up my alley. So there are some rules, and of course, you know, you could follow as many of these as you feel like you can, and then break the ones you feel like you can't follow. Because it celebrates being clumsy, the first rule is to hold your brush at the top, because that already gives you less control, right? And then the next rule is to hold your elbow up. So you're holding it up so that you have even less control now. The subject is something out of daily life, fruit, vegetables, just something simple, maybe a little teapot, and to draw slowly. You have very little control, and part of this is to be in a very calm, very zen state of mind, right? This is not something you do that you want to do quickly. You really need to be very calm, very mindful, and very focused on what you're doing. So to draw slowly is another way of keeping you focused. And the edges can be out of the frame. None of these examples that I did show that, but we will do that today. And what you're doing is you're really only using ink, which is Sumi Ink, and you're just drawing an outline or very, very little detail. And then you add color, and you can add bright color. But try not to be fancy, like we're not blending and using 15 different colors. The suggestion is to only use 3 colors. So the white space behind is also part of this process. So you don't have to give a background color. And some of the ones I did early on, I did give a background color. Painting that I do, I'm used to having more color. And it's fun. But then I did more reading and saw where white is actually part of this process. Simple text is also part of this process. Keep it very simple, just enough to express what it is you're trying to convey. And you also, which I believe it's pronounced hanko, you add your own stamp. And I think typically this has your initials or it's the first syllable of your name. I've carved stamps, and I have a video or two on the channel where I've done that, so I still have supplies. And so I just started carving. I came up with this little stamp, and it's almost just like a little sunburst. That's the symbol that I wanted to reflect me in my work. And so that's what I've been using. Once you do all that, now you're supposed to send it as a postcard. So I may spray something over it and send it that way, or I may just put it in an envelope. So that is the gist of what we're doing today. I have my 4x6 postcard size piece of paper. This is cold pressed watercolor paper. The Japanese, what they use is like a rice paper, which I don't have. I might try to get some, so maybe we'll revisit this another time and I can compare the two. This is pretty toothy, but it really is what I'm most comfortable using. So I have a napkin and my calligraphy brush, which I've deemed is the one that I use for ink. As you can see, I don't even dip them in the same. This was my ink and this was my watercolor. I did order the Sumi Ink. This is the 2-ounce bottle and it came in just under $8 from Amazon. So I thought 2 ounces was plenty enough just to try this to see if I like it. But I'm sure it has lots of other uses too in art, and I'm looking forward to exploring those. So here is my little ink. We'll uncap that. And here's my brush. I thought I would do a pumpkin, and it'll be kind of close up, so most of the pumpkin will be off page. So let's do that. Let's dip it into my well. Maybe get a little bit of the excess off. And let's see. It has to be very simple. So I'm going to come in. Like that. Okay. Let's put my stock. Let's make it go crazy. Oh, this is hard to do. Okay. There. It's a little viney part. And now I'm going to put some lines for my pumpkin. Just very basic. And I think I'll do the back because this kind of looks like it needs some extra going on. Okay, might not should have done that part, but let's see. Okay, it is what it is, right? We have to keep going. Now, since I already have the ink out, I want to go ahead and add my words because I just don't want to have to do it all again and waste more of my ink. So let's see, what could I say? So we'll just do autumn, and I am cheating. I'm holding it farther back, but my elbow is resting on the table because it did say to make it legible, and if my elbow's up, it may not be legible. Is oh no, I'm losing it. Is here. Okay. Oh well. Gotta keep going. Thank goodness perfection is not what we're going for, so no matter what you do, you're fine. Okay. Let's just be done with the ink and let's wash this out. You don't want ink to dry. See, I switched it around and look. Yeah, it stays in there a long time, so I just try to get most of it out. Okay. Now, this ink does become waterproof after it dries. So if you're going to do multiple, it's a good idea to go ahead and do all your drawing at one time. By the time you're done doing your inking, your first one hopefully will be dry. But since I already washed out my ink, maybe we'll just do one. Now they suggest using Gonzai paint, which I have this Kuritake set. Again, another influence from Diane Antone's channel. So I'm going to use these. The colors are bright. I've added water. I sprayed the paint. I guess I'll go up here for the orange colors. Okay. And the pans are really big, and it's to be able to use a nice big brush. Now, I did order these brushes, and I tried one, and I just don't like it. So I probably just need more practice, but I just didn't feel comfortable using it, so I didn't use it for this video. Maybe I'll use it in the future, we'll see. But I'm going to grab some of this paint, and this is the orange, and I don't know what orange it is right off my head, but just use any orange you have, and I'm just going to add it on. Now, I accidentally touched the black. I do try to avoid the ink because even though it is waterproof once it's dried, if you add color, it covers up the ink and makes it not quite as bright black. And I don't like that. So I just try to kind of avoid the ink lines as best I can. And I find it easier to hold it, to be honest. So I'm going to hold it. Because, you know, when you're painting, you got to do what feels best for you, right? I'm not worried about any rules. I'm more comfortable holding it, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay. Let's get this on here. Add a little more water. Spread that around, and what I'll do is I'll see if I can lift off that paint, which I'm sure I can. But it seems like there was one I did where I had covered up the ink so much that I went back over it with more ink. And I'm sure that's not, you know, what you're supposed to do. It's supposed to be very simple and basic. So I had read that it said to tap in the color. Now I don't know, I didn't really understand that part. I don't know, unless it's something tiny, then I might tap, but otherwise, you know, I'm using larger strokes. I don't know. I didn't understand the whole tapping part, so I'm ignoring that, and I'm not going to tap. Maybe if somebody else is more knowledgeable on that and can explain it, that would be great. Please leave a comment. Knowledge is power, right? And I would love to be more knowledgeable. So, okay, there we go. Let me wash off my brush. Okay, and now I'm going to switch and paint my stem. Right, how about maybe a dark green? Let's see. Oh, hold on. I can tell you the color. That was cadmium orange is what I used. And let's go with a forest green. Let's try that. Something really dark. Alright. I'm going to need more water. Okay. I guess I am kind of tapping now, aren't I? Jeez. Maybe tapping is the right way to describe it. Uh-oh. That's tricky. Because I am holding it closer, but my arms are up, so I don't feel like I have very much control. Push more paint down there. Okay, all right. So let's set that back down. Rinse out my brush. Okay. Now, I want to let that dry. Okay, well, I did use my heat tool just to speed up the process. So now, I have my basic form, I've added color, I've added a few words. Now I need to add my stamp. So I get my ink, and here is my little stamp I made. Try to get it nice and juicy because, yeah, I'm stamping on really rough paper, so it may not stamp completely, but that's okay. And I think I'll just add it up here. The stamp is very much part of the picture, so it needs to be just right in there. Okay. Okay, there we go. Well, there you go. This is an Etegami postcard. Simple, fun, completely low pressure, and anybody can do this. And I do mean anybody. If you've never picked up a paintbrush before, you can do this. In the article I read, it did say that you could practice a little bit, but we're not looking for perfection, actually just the opposite. So the fact that this R is all chunky and messed up is fine. You can still read it. You know what it says, because one of the rules is that it's legible, right? I can still read it. It's just not as pretty as the rest. And that's fine. I don't have to worry about it. This is a very basic drawing, but you can tell it's a pumpkin. Autumn is here. You can tell it's in celebration of autumn. And hopefully, when I send it out, it will make someone smile. That's it. I encourage you to look at other videos about Etegami and take a look at the supplies that are usually used and learn something. I really enjoyed Diane's video because it introduced me to something I was not aware of, and it caused me to do a little bit more research on my own and learn about something new, and that's always a good thing. Leave a comment and let me know if you're going to try this or what you know about Etegami. Have you ever heard of it before? I sure hadn't. Alright, that's going to be it for this one. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!